Okay, again, greetings, fellow cartoonists, cartoon comic book fans, earthlings, and citizens everywhere. This is Ken Bailey, and we are at, I believe, stage 5 of a creation of a Mighty Energygirl commission for a longtime fan who we'll call Cape Cod Dave. We have completed thus far the light pencil layout, followed by the very narrow line black inking detail outlining. We have then gone to the heavy inking, page balancing, and accents. And here's how the drawing is coming along now. We're just about to go into the color mode. Cartooning is a very visual medium. You use almost every tool in your quiver to communicate an idea, not just words. Words are important, but everything. Notice the sense of action, the sense of the car rushing forward. Sound effects might add to this. Also motion marks, the dirt coming out from under the tires of the car, the exaggerated flames coming out of the gun barrels, and even the expressions, the desperate expressions of Nutso and Fingers, as opposed to the very calm, almost bored expression of the Mighty Energygirl holding the car back as the bullets ricochet off her upper back. A long-time tradition is superheroes tend to make puns to show how unconcerned they are. Notice the very stock phrase, "Eat damn, it was super damn." And she says, how cute they remembered their lines. Okay, this is rather trite, but it's good old light comic book fare, and we love it. Some of us do, and for the rest of you, there's billions of comic book titles out there. I'm sure you can find something to your liking. Anyway, it is now time for color. Up to this point, we have used permanent ink, but now it is time to literally stay within the lines. So for color, I can't be advertising here, but I use a very famous manufacturer of water-based color pens, and the reason I like them, the chief reason I like them, is because I am a partially colorblind cartoonist. You'd wonder why in the world, God as I believe it, or nature as many believe, or evolution, or what have you, would create a cartoonist who can do this with no formal training and then is colorblind. So he can't paint or do any other fancy stuff. But this proud manufacturer is very nice that they put the name of the color on the paint barrel. So while I will eternally be confined to the primary colors, which makes comic books a logical choice, at least let's hope I choose the right ones because I can read the barrel. So we are now going to start adding the colors to finish this drawing. Now, we generally work from light colors first to darker colors later, because if you want to make corrections, you can always darken a lighter color, but you cannot lighten a darker color. Energy's costume is yellow and red. A bit of Energygirl trivia, and that is because Energygirl's #1 inspiration happens to like red, and so every Energygirl costume ever will have some red in it somewhere. She's had 3 or 4 costumes over the decade and a half I've been drawing her, and at least 2 of them, red has been the primary color. Now she's back to safety yellow. Somebody once said that she looks too shiny. Well, you wanted her to show up at night so you don't ram into her with your car, right? So this is good old safety. I hope that's not a copyrighted name. This is a very safe color, bright yellow. Now we want to balance the overall drawing, so we will put yellow in various places. Yellow draws attention to itself. So in addition to Energygirl's costume, I will have my name encased in yellow. We generally use yellow also to mark off non-spoken words, words that are titles, that are information bars or boxes, so that they stand out to the reader. And a color behind them is one easy way to tell the reader very quickly, this is not a speech balloon down here. This is not one of the characters speaking. This is merely giving you some extra information, and that's why we color the box. In a case where you may have multiple characters speaking and not all pictured, some cartoonists and comic books are now using different colors to differentiate different characters' speech. I'm not one of them. Okay, onward. By the way, again, for those of you who say it's jerky and your dialogue is lame, I am too cheap to hire a cameraman or a script writer or any of that stuff. I'm holding the camera with my left hand. I'm making the script as I go along, and so that you folks can join me in enjoying watching a drawing being created. Someday perhaps we will get where we can afford a real script writer, but it's not going to be today or tomorrow. Okay, there we go. We have the yellow in. Notice how we have a little on the left, a little on the right, a little on the top, and a little on the bottom. This is to gradually bring our picture into balance, which hopefully it will. Now, the next lightest color is skin color. I tend to use a color called light tan for skin. In my colorblind eyes, unfortunately, light tan and light green, are very similar. So once again, we must read the barrel. Okay, pardon my shaking while I open the paint color here. And we are off and running with the light tan. Here we go. By the way, somebody has said, why don't you draw any people of color in your comic strip? And it's mainly two reasons. One reason is we tend to draw what we know, and I have not until my adult years really been around a number of people of color to the point where I don't draw them very well. I haven't had much practice. But the main reason is there is no color in these primary school colors that really matches skin for people of color. I wish they'd come out with some. There is this very, very light brown, which we can kind of get away with for white, though sometimes it looks like they've been in the Caribbean too long and they've got quite a tan. And the next brown is super, super dark brown that bleeds out all the details, and there's almost nothing in between. So, colored pen makers, if you're listening, and we could sure, in this modern era, use a few more choices for skin color, so we could do people of various color shades. Even the colorblind among us who need the simple ones that have the names printed on the barrels. So someday, maybe there will be more pens to choose colors from. Right now, we're kind of stuck. Okay, next darker color. Now, Energygirl is older. In fact, she has brown hair, which is kind of an anomaly when you think about it, because the rest of her is aging very slowly. I mean, she's almost 60, and she still looks like a movie star. She does have a few lines in her face, but other than that, but her hair inexplicably turned gray very early on in her life. She was in her late 30s when her hair went from a very, very dark brown to a gray. Now, it's a very dark gray. That's a good thing, but it is very much gray. Uh-oh, I am getting a warning that I am over time and my battery is about to go poof. So, I've given you the basics of color, and there will be one more section. Come back soon to see section number 6 of our drawing for Cape Cod Dave of the Mighty Energygirl and the final appearance of the Vinny Viddy Da Vinci gang. Stay tuned.